Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's Brandon the Therapist with your best information for male infertility. Today I'm joined by the wife, Lauren, and we're going to talk about growing your relationship.
And not unearthing it.
Yes.
Number one is, do you know what it means to grow your relationship, and what does it mean to unearth it? So I guess we could start with the negative.
Yeah, we can definitely start with the negative, and that way we
Unearthing.
end positively.
Yeah, there we go. What does it mean to unearth your relationship? In the planting world, unearthing basically means to dig it up, get it out the ground, unroot it, disturb the foundation in which something is planted, and move it. Oftentimes you're throwing it away, or you could just move it to a different location. But unearthing your relationship can be seen in the exact same way, just unplucking it, unearthing it, disturbing the root, the foundation that you built. Maybe your relationship was built on friendship, maybe your relationship was built on, um, in our case, like randomly meeting.
Yeah,
But I guess we were built on hanging out, having fun. Like we did
we
fun
were.
stuff
We
together.
became friends first,
Yeah.
for the most part,
Yeah.
states away.
And then
Maybe,
countries away.
maybe we'll talk about our how we met in a different video.
Yeah, that'll be later.
Yeah.
But you don't want to undo that in uh, in a relationship because, or to your relationship, because you think that will fix a problem. You don't want to
Sometimes you
stuck to
can
paper.
unearth the problem or situation and make everything worse.
Right.
And whatever foundation was solid is now has a few cracks in it.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have a leaky foundation, it's easy for other people and other things to poke holes into.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. If you're not steady and strong in what you guys believe to be a great foundation, then oh yeah, you'll have all kind of problems.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing that you want to do.
Right. So that would be, I would say, the clear definition of unearthing your relationship. Next will probably be what, um,
Not communicating.
as reasons.
Yeah.
Mm. It's like the easiest yet the hardest. Easiest to name, hardest to do is communicate with one another in what works.
Yes, and I usually tell people this is hard because you're both single. And when you're single, you don't have to answer anyone. You just do what you want to do.
Right.
Um, and things happen randomly as you predict it or as you schedule it or whatever the case may be. However, when you're married, when you're in a long-term relationship, you have to talk about those different things. If it's something as simple as a bowling night, you have to talk with your spouse because maybe it's on a Thursday night and there's another activity that's already planned. And
But that's easy communication.
yeah,
Your scheduling is easy communication. I would think of communication as in how do you explain your day and emotions that you've been harvesting for a long time about maybe career choices, family choices, that outside forces keep bothering your relationship. Maybe you're caring for a person, or a person is constantly after your attention, your money, your family's attention.
or even staying strong into what you want for your household, and other people are saying what's good and what's bad for your household. So, guys, we're going to talk about growing your relationship now and ways to grow your relationship. Growing your relationship is really taking the time to watch it flourish. If we look at it again from the planting world, it's when you give the plant water, the seed is allowed to grow, the roots are diving deep, and once it blooms into this beautiful plant that will either feed you or nourish you in some sort of way. And your relationship is about nourishment.
Right.
And the more that you can plant and take care of that seed,
The more it'll grow.
the more it will grow.
Even once it has bloomed,
Yes.
if you can keep feeding it love, care, nourishment, it will continue to grow, continue to bloom.
And continue to be there for you.
Right. Your relationship has to have a growing stage, and if all possible, stay in that growing stage.
Yes. And the things that you come against are only challenges to help you grow. They're not really, they're learning lessons.
Right.
And we have to learn and grow with each other just as the plant does in nature. It has to overcome the rain, perennials overcome the snow, and they grow the next year.
Right. Annuals.
Annuals.
No, perennials, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yes.
I think I know a little bit of something.
The gardener. Be quiet.
But the more that you can build on the challenges that come, the more that your relationship will flourish and it will grow, and that you guys will take care of each other.
So, what is some elements that people can do to grow it versus unearthing it and trying to start all over all the time?
Metaphorically speaking, let's water it.
Water it.
So water your seed. You water your seed by talking out your issues, talking out your problems. And sometimes you can get ahead of this, sometimes you'll be behind it. But the more that you can actually talk to each other and build that comfort in coming to each other and relying on each other, the better you will do.
What happens if you don't want to talk, or talking is not your forte, which is different, but it is possible.
Use written communication. You'd
Or
be
silent communication.
Then I read your face.
No, like do things together. Sometimes when we are too bogged down with stuff, we don't really talk. We go and walk. We go
Yeah.
play in water, swim, or something like that. We don't. It's just too much to say, or it's so difficult to explain how we think and feel about it. So we go and just
Walk it out.
walk it out. Stare at nature, or throw rocks in water.
And then sometimes come to a solution, or at least able to think. So that is a good way. I didn't think of it that way.
That is watering your relationship your way, or in our
Yes.
case, our way. Our way.
So,
Another
Yeah.
way for watering or growing your relationship will probably be to give it some sunlight.
yes.
What do you consider sunlight in a relationship?
Date night.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say like wisdom for those who are rocking it or had rocked it. Like
Yes, that too.
our grandparents were married, death do us part, and to get wisdom from them, like what did you do when this happened? A lot of our generation, I think they're excluded from things that happen, and a lot of this stuff is not new under the sun.
Actually, none of it's new. Only thing that's changed is technology.
Right.
We went from radio to 5G. Quite honestly.
But to get advice from those, that's what I think of, like the sun.
Yeah, the
It's
sun
Advice
and
coming down on us.
keeping your relationship fresh, which is why I said date night. You have to take time and continue to get to know each other. And date nights help, especially if you have children,
Right.
because you get so bogged down in working, taking care of the home, parenthood.
And we change. We were just talking recently. Like I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago when we first got our son. What I wanted to do with my life, what I wanted to do for him as my husband, for my son, our son. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to change a lot of what I'm doing, and so to run that past you,
Yeah.
it's easier on a date night when I have some time to sit and think. So.
And it's easier to talk then and actually express our dreams and desires and goals that we want to have. You know, I thought I would be a city boy forever.
Yeah. Not
And
anymore.
now I'm looking to live in the country and live on land, and
Yeah.
just the desires change. Those Chicago night lights are quite gone.
So
Um,
we got the water, we got the sun. Anything else you could think of?
Next, we have
Fertilizer.
the fertilizer soil.
Yeah.
The soil has to stay refreshed, and that foundation has to continue to have its own, what is it called, micronutrients, micro environment,
Yeah.
micro.
What you put in the ground under your plants, or when your plants are in the ground, what you keep adding to feed it, that nourishment changes
Hmm.
constantly with the growth of the plant. What you give the plant from the very beginning is not what you give to them towards the end of its lifespan. I'm thinking of like a tomato plant, for example.
Yes.
And same for our relationship. 10 years of marriage, what we did year
What we
one and
did,
two is not
it's
what we've
much
done,
different.
not what we are doing. And it has nothing to do with children. Let me
Yeah.
make sure that is clear. I think it has to do
Do a
with
growth
growth,
and
yeah.
growth, maturity, dreams. Um,
Mhm.
it's just a matter of things that aren't always exciting, and
Right.
our
Or
we
if you've
were
done them 10 times.
yeah, and we were young when we got married, so the club looked exciting.
We were not young when we got married.
Then you were old. I was young.
Young is like 22, 24, around in there, 25. We were not that young.
I was
But
30. But either way,
I was 20.
I didn't rob the cradle. But either way, those late nights out, um, even at a late night at a restaurant, weren't the same.
Right.
You know.
I mean, we still try to get late nights out. It's not really based on the time. It's just
Right.
now we do things differently. Mostly where we go is different.
Yeah.
Why we're going out on a date is different. I think that's probably more the
reason-
difference. It's like, why are we going out for a restaurant or to the movies or a stroll at the park with picnic? The dating why now is not necessarily to get to know you. I think it's more to
explore and
renew, yeah.
renew,
yeah.
constantly keeping that foundation fresh and a new layer on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you break that foundation, it's
that
hard
unearthing.
to fix.
Yeah. Yep. And then I would say the last piece to growing the relationship is protection. There are predators in the plant world. There's bugs that love tomatoes or love squash, and there are rabbits that want to feed
Yes.
off of what you planted. Just like in relationships, there are people that
They're
want to
constantly coming at you
yeah.
for different things, whether it's physical, emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to protect each other's emotions and how we feel
Right.
and how people interact with us. And this comes down to family, friends, strangers, but protecting your relationship, protecting your marriage,
Mm-hmm.
it's vital.
I would say the number one protection comes more in time. Now, there's
Yeah.
so many people that want to consume your time with silliness or things that affect them. It may not even be silly, it's just their battle, and they want you to give advice, they want you to listen, they want you to intervene, and it has nothing to do with you. That has to do with their life.
Right.
And the best friend role nowadays is turned into like a therapeutic role, and some of you guys are like damaging your relationship with your partner to satisfy your friends.
And then you get
Problems.
upset when your friend have an opinion.
Right. That
So-
can happen.
So you have to constantly protect your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And another way they try to protect your relationship is from people who try to dictate what goes on in your household.
Mm.
You know, if you are a family who lives this kind of lifestyle, live that lifestyle.
Right.
Do not fight against those who say you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. It
You
doesn't
s-
work for you.
and you made it intentionally your business, intentionally decided to live a particular way, you eat a particular way, you move to a certain area, you don't place your children in certain schools or certain inner city, I'm sorry, certain activities or
Activities.
whatever. You made those choices, and then yet you spend a lot of time defending those choices. Why?
There's no need.
There's no need.
And
Don't.
reassure each other that it is okay.
Right.
And it is okay to be different. And it is okay to live like you want to live. So, as Dave Ramsey would put it, live like no one else so you can live like no one else.
Right.
It's okay to be unique.
Mm-hmm. It's okay to be weird.
It's okay to be quirky and
You will find your group of people that are just as weird as you are,
yes.
and you'll have your own community. But sometimes that means you are leaving the original group of people that you were a part of, or the original activities you were a part of. And you'll find some normalcy, you'll find some comfort, but in the meantime, yeah, you're gonna have to protect your relationship, your emotions. Yep.
And your finances. Don't forget about your finances. That's probably the most important thing.
That's a whole different subject to
We're
protect
not
your
gonna touch that
marriage.
today.
As a tax accountant, I have seen some crazy things when it comes to finances and relationships. That's a whole different subject.
We'll leave that for another day.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining us. Again, I'm joined with my wife, Lauren. And make sure you continue to follow us and hit the like and subscribe button. And we'll talk to you later.
Have a good day, guys.
Enjoy.